This is where Sun Tzu and MacGyver meet the Waltons. I know you can do it. I know you can prep for yourself and for your family. I believe in you. Crisis strikes, you need to reach down and check to see if you got the big boy or big girl underwear on, because you know what, you're going to have to be an adult and you're going to have to step up to the plate because you've got people depending on you.
And good evening, preppers. James Smith with the Covert Prepper Show. All information provided is for entertainment purposes or for post-apocalyptic uses. Tonight's a little bit of a rant plus a how to defeat drones. Don't use this to break the law unless it's don't use it to break the law. But if the law breaks down or the Constitution becomes invalid, no laws are valid because all laws come from the Constitution. Therefore, go nuts. All right, I'm a former U.S. Navy enlisted sailor and prison corrections officer for medium and minimum security inmates. I'll take my 5-foot barrel over the gunner's mate's 16 inches. I was a covert disability insurance fraud investigator for several years, and I currently work for a company that provides support to the disabled. This is where Sun Tzu and MacGyver meet the Waltons. Seriously. I was talking to BG, my lovely and beautiful wife, about putting another gun safe in the house. She goes, "We don't need another one." I said, "Yes, we do. Guess what?" So we're doing another covert gun safe because you can never have too many. And besides, if they find one, they may stop looking. The Twitter name is @CovertPrepper. The blog is thecovertprepper.com. And you can reach me at james@thecovertprepper.com. And my YouTube channel is, can you guess it, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, The Covert Prepper. I am not narcissistic. I really am not. You can listen to the live feed by going to prepperpodcast.com, pprianews.com, or by hopping on your telephone and dialing 786-837-2278. Okay, now, with that being done, let's get into our topic du jour. I'm going to go on a rant. I just want to go over a few rants today. Now, John Melandra, last week or so, did a rant, and I have a need to do a rant. As strange as it may seem, once in a while, you just have to have a good rant. And this is mine. And a lot of you can probably agree with what I've got to say because you're probably feeling the same way. Our rights are being taken away slowly but surely. And the whole frog thing, well, I got news for you. They turned up the heat just a little too quick. Well, the first thing I want to start with is the assault weapons ban. Now, Dianne Feinstein and the others have said, well, if it looks like an assault rifle, it must be an assault rifle. Well, assault rifles have been banned, the purchase of, since 1934. But what they're banning is those that look like an assault rifle. Let's consider the logic in here. Let's talk about Miss Feinstein. Miss Feinstein, I bet you, has the skills, ability, knowledge, and tactics and techniques to be a prostitute. But she isn't one. Right? Just because you look like something doesn't mean that you are. Now, that is prejudging somebody. We're not supposed to do that. That's one of the things that just annoy the heck out of me. They say because we look like it, we must be. All right, so all men that are over 40 and married are more than likely Johns. They like to solicit prostitutes. So let's arrest them all preemptively because they're going to commit a crime. It doesn't fly. So just because the weapon looks like an assault weapon does not mean it's an assault weapon. Let's take in consideration the 200 and some odd million guns out there. How many of them committed a crime yesterday? Well, if it's like mine, very, very, very few did. It's not the gun that's the problem. It's the person wielding it. The number one weapon to be used in a violent crime is not a gun. It's a baseball bat. And we make sure that little kids have baseball bats at the ready every summer for baseball and practice. So it's not that we need to protect the children from evil guns. We just need to disarm you. That is the whole key. So when they say it's to protect the children, it's protect them. As someone had once pointed out in an article, those that have the guns want to take the guns away from us, right? So that's not really a good indication they're trying to protect children. Now, if you remember Elian Gonzalez, he was taken away at gunpoint by a member of, I don't know, what was it? U.S. Marshals, I think it was. And how many children were killed at Waco? And that was done by what? By Janet Reno. So, well, there's Ruby Ridge, too, right? Yeah, that pregnant woman was killed by a sniper. And she was unarmed. So it's not the gun that's the problem. It's the psycho holding it. My gun is in a nice, safe place. My guns, I should say. Children don't have access to them. And if they did have access to them, they're nowhere near strong enough in order to load them. Because really, you have to be some strength to pull back the slide. And none of the little ones in my home have any of that strength available. I don't know if you've ever had it, handed it to a 4-year-old, say, pull the slide back. I can't. Okay, so that's that. They're full of crap. Any kind of new laws that's coming along on gun control will be met with resistance. Not just official resistance, the sheriffs and the police departments and whatnot, but by the gun owner. The gun owner will suddenly become broke. I did have guns. I had to sell them because of this bad economy. My family needs food. And, of course, they're probably hidden right under where they're standing because that's where I would put them. Just think about it. Floorboard. Remove the tile, cut that part out, strengthen the area, hide your guns there. They'll never look there. See, the covert prepper. Always thinking because I have nothing better to do. But anyways, another thing is this Evian group. The ammunition that was purchased by the federal government via the Evian group. It's kind of taken a life of its own in a way. You don't realize what's really going on behind the scenes here. There's a lot of traffic, people looking for the word Evian group, and they come to the Prepper podcast site because of the story that I wrote. And I know that I'm right because of the absence of things. At no point has anybody with the words Evian group in their email has responded. We've never received any kind of legal notice. Never received any kind of emails, in fact, about the Evian group's contract. But what I have noticed is the U.S. representatives, the Congressional Budget Office, and soon the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General, because they've been notified. A friend of mine told me that he sent an email to them. So there's other people who are really interested in that contract. And the other question is why 2 months later, well, actually it was just shy of a month, just about 1 month, maybe a little more, a few days after, that Department of Homeland Security, FLETC, needs more .40 caliber and needs 9mm. It just rings fraud. Now, Alex Jones, bless his soul, tries really hard, but Paul Craig Roberts, I think is his name. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. I'm lucky to remember my name some days. Has totally just taken these contracts way too extreme. I count every single round that comes across the Department of Homeland Security's purchasing, the public purchasing. We don't know about the private purchasing. And there's a lot of questions that come through here, but Mr. Roberts has this tendency to blow things out of proportion. And I'll admit it, I've made the same mistake, but I never printed it. His assertion that, well, it says right here, 9MX. Well, MX means does not mean millions, it means thousands. It's short for milieu. That's what that means. So if you ever see the words MX behind a number, it means thousands. There was somebody on a very popular website who, you know what? Let me call that up for you real quick, because it's an indication of how some people are feeling about what's going on. Let me just find that real quick. There you are. Now he says here, pretty sure your math on the ammo one is wrong. You apparently missed the fact that each 100,000 round order had a quantity of 100. And then Disinfo Occupy Corporatism does a fake article citing your numbers. Didn't know Occupy liked to cover for DHS. Or maybe their jealousy of InfoWars is so strong they will attack InfoWars even if it means covering for DHS. I'm not sure. And then I pointed out FBO, which is Federal Business Online, presented a clarified amount in an update 2 days ago, and this was done the 13th. It is 100,000 for the two and 40,000 for the last one. Right. 100 MX is 100,000. Okay. So what this gentleman here, and I refuse to tell you his name because it's not pertinent. It is the feelings that people have. There are three camps. You have the government who is laughing at those that really do the hard work, and then you have those that do also hard work, but they see the boogeyman in every corner. And that's not the case. He's not in every corner. He's in many corners. And it's like these drones. These drones things are getting out of hand. Now, Mr. Obama has not explicitly said that he will not have armed drones in the United States. He's made references that they may be in the United States, but he will not. It's like the NDAA. He says, I won't do it. Yeah. You also had said that you wanted to not sign the NDAA, that you were going to refuse to sign NDAA, and then it came out that you wanted U.S. citizens listed in the NDAA. He wanted them listed. You and I could possibly be indefinitely detained. And I look at it as like, wow, a vacation? That would be cool. I had a vacation in 13 years. So I don't want to hear about it from people. I will welcome NDAA for a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. It's kind of like being on a tropical deserted island. It's nice to have once in a while, but not all the time. So those are just a couple of my rants. Now this is, I'm doing these in segments. When I feel the need to talk, I'm just going to talk. Spring is coming. The nice thing about spring is that you don't have to shovel sunshine. Think about that for a minute. I am really sick of the snow. It snows and it snows and it just won't quit. It's almost like it's winter or something. Seriously, where's it all coming from? But spring will be here soon, and that means I can get out more and I can look at the ground and feel the dirt in my fingers, like many of you. Oh, I've got to read an email that I got. See, I've been having problems with these bots, and the bots are they're registering, and it just kind of annoys me. And so I sent an email out to everybody that's on my list. Please reply, and you should do the same. By 1st of March, I am human. Send it to james@thecovertprepper.com so that I won't delete your account, your subscriber account. And he goes, I would like to become a subscriber if you would allow me to tell your readers how to have the best and most productive sustainable garden in their community. Preparation has many faces, and we believe gardening should be on the list. Really? You'll become a subscriber if I give you airtime. So I said, I'm rather curious about the tone you're taking in this email. Clearly, you have not read any of my blog posts. Has he? Okay. He goes, I'm sorry. No, I have not read them. I'm so busy trying to help people prepare for an uncertain future in a way that I know how, that I don't have time to study others' efforts, although I'm sure they're all laudable. I sincerely do not mean, can't talk today. Did not mean to offend you, and I'm only trying to help people. If your blog has no interest in telling people about gardening, that is certainly fine. Or perhaps because you promote another method of gardening, which is certainly okay too. Have a great week. I'm leaving this name out. It's not important. He's just, I'm waiting for him to register so I can just delete his account. I'm just waiting. Come on, buddy. Become a subscriber. Now, subscribing is free, of course. Go to thecovertprepper.com, set up an account. You'll have to go through